Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for April 12, 2024. And in the news this afternoon, Shadow Minister on Water urges government to address a drought crisis. With several parishes across the island currently experiencing severe drought conditions, Shadow Minister on Water Ian Hills is expressing alarm that water trucks he said were procured by the last People's National Party government have been left in a state of disrepair. In a statement on Thursday, Hills revealed that the trucks, which cost taxpayers billions of dollars, formed a part of the fleet of trucks in the Rapid Response Unit, which was implemented to help manage the nation's water crisis. The Shadow Minister noted that in 2015, Negril endured one of its worst droughts on record, prompting the government at the time to deploy over 20 trucks to provide relief to affected residents. However, he went on to note that when the Jamaica Labour Party assumed office in 2016, they dismantled the Rapid Response Unit. He said at the time the unit had some 39 trucks dedicated to addressing emergency water supply needs. He expressed that since then, these trucks, which are parked at the National Water Commission offices in St. James and Portmore, have languished in a state of ruin and disrepair. It is deeply concerning that in the face of such dire circumstances, the government has failed to implement a proactive and sustainable strategy to manage the current drought, the Shadow Minister stated. The decision to dismantle the Rapid Response Unit has left the communities vulnerable and without adequate support during times of water scarcity. He went on to state that the neglect of essential water infrastructure assets, such as the fleet of water trucks, is indicative of the government's lack of commitment to ensuring water security for all Jamaicans. The inaction exacerbates the suffering of communities already grappling with the impacts of drought, including water shortages, agricultural losses, and economic hardship, the release read. The Shadow Minister expressed that in light of these issues, the government is being urged to take immediate action to address the drought, including reactivating the Rapid Response Unit, increasing investment in water conservation and management, as well as prioritizing the maintenance and upkeep of essential water infrastructure, including water treatment plants, pipelines, and reservoirs. The government has a responsibility to prioritize the well-being of its citizens and to safeguard their access to clean and reliable water, Hills emphasized. We cannot afford to continue neglecting the urgent needs of communities facing drought. Immediate action is needed to mitigate the impacts of the crisis and ensure water security for all Jamaicans. Crime Prevention and Community Safety Branch working in schools to stem violence. The Crime Prevention and Community Safety Branch in the Ministry of National Security is working in schools to stem antisocial behavior. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang says that the department plays a critical role in the national security apparatus. He says already Kingston Technical High is benefiting from its intervention, with students getting psychosocial services through the help of a guidance counselor.
We currently assist Kingston Technical High with psychosocial services, working with a guidance counselor. I understand it's going very well. We have some very caring and effective case managers who go to different institutions to work with the institution. Case management involves a very systematic approach to identifying, assessing, and addressing the individual needs, not only individual way, but in a what I call the ecosystem way. Once we identify, the case manager identify a challenge with an individual student, they then get to link with the with the rest of the family. Because unless we can deal with the family situation, it doesn't, there's a challenge. To, in fact, impact the community, and we find a child who is having challenges. It is important to find the mother is working or not working. If there's another child at home, challenge, or there's one who's going to a gang, that way we can begin to resolve the issue in a permanent and sustainable way. So the case manager's role is to create the linkages between the various groupings. As we approach this, we become more deliberate in intervening early and providing the kind of support and that is required to to deal with the underlying challenge that all emerge from some level of poverty, family dysfunction, substance abuse, and other challenges that affect some of our families in various areas of the country. Our case managers are truly a collaborative approach. With their guidance council, the teachers and the stakeholders are working to enhance the support system. We help to overcome the obstacles.
Needs regulations to be brought before Parliament in coming weeks. The government says the regulations to govern the National Identification System should be brought before the House of Representatives for debate within the next few weeks. Minister without a portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with oversight for skills and digital transformation, Senator Dr. Dina Morris-Dixon, says the regulations will outline a raft of security features connected to the needs. She says the regulations will outline fines for violations.
This is a very big kind of digital project for Jamaica, and we know that we are in a low trust environment in our country. And we also know that there are many Jamaicans who may be afraid of this digital change or even having this kind of national ID. And so it is very important that through the regulations that govern everything that we do, that the security element is very strong in there so that we can build trust in what has been built. And then there's also the element of, we have a lot of data. Some third parties may be using it. One of our hopes is that, you can just use your NIDS ID to get a bank account and you don't need anything else, which would take us very far in terms of financial inclusion. How our third parties would interact with NIDS is really central. How we also notify individuals. So, for example, if you are opening an account and you gave a bank your NIDS ID, and then they obviously have to verify you and they make a call on our system, you will get a text or an email that says, this bank checked to verify your identity. So the regulations build those things in, such as notifying people if anyone is verifying any of their information.
TAJ resumes a pilot for online motor vehicle registration renewal. Tax Administration Jamaica has resumed its pilot project for online renewal of motor vehicle registration certificates. TAJ says the service, which began on April 1, allows the users to apply for, pay online, and pick up their registration certificate and a sticker within 3 business days at a participating tax office utilizing a special pickup window. The locations are the Revenue Service Centers in downtown Kingston and the Constant Spring in St. Andrew and the Montego Bay, as well as the Spanish Town, Maypen, and the St. Anne's Bay tax offices. The tax authority outlined that in this initial phase, only customers with a private motor vehicle, along with valid insurance certificates or cover notes and the fitness, will be able to apply and pay online to renew their motor vehicle registration certificate. Customers will also be able to track the progress of the registration online using TAJ's new motor vehicle registration renewal tracking facility. The TAJ says work continues to fully implement and build out the online service to include other vehicle types and delivery options in subsequent phases.